Hello YouTube, this is Hunter Surge of the Brawler Cafe, bringing you the buyer's guide for Bakugan Resurgence. A quick note before we start, because I don't want people getting outdated information. As soon as this video goes up, I will be putting the old buyer's guide on private, but you will be able to find the link to it. You'll be able to on unlisted, sorry, but you will still be able to access it through the Battle Brawlers Analysis playlist, and you will still be able to find it. Though I'll be moving it to the back of that playlist because currently it's at the front. And I'll also be adding, I'll also be linking in the description below if you want to be able to find it real quick. But with that said, let's get into it. We have a lot more to go over than we did last time because we have to reevaluate everything that we talked about in the first buyer's list. So to start that off, let's go with the Wave 1 Battle Packs, because let me tell you, if there's one thing that has not aged at all, is just as valuable as I said it was back then, it is the freaking Aurelius Garganoid and Darkest Hydra's Battle Pack. Holy crap, this thing is such good value. Darkest Hydras and Ultra and Oculus Fangzor have stuck through and continue to be the best generic Bakugan of their factions. Even with a Bakugan like Oculus Kubo on the horizon, for the things that more combo-oriented decks that need a more generic Oculus Bakugan want, Fangzor just checks off all the right boxes and has that nice little side spin. This also gives you, right out of the box, 3 Bakugan that work well together for a decent Flaming Fist deck. Aurelius Garganoid Ultra is not quite as good as it used to be, especially with Aurelius Hydronoid Ultra on the horizon, but Aurelius Garganoid Ultra is still the only one of those two that has an Evo, and if Mono Aurelius ends up being a thing, the most likely route for that to go is Flaming Fist using Aurelius Garganoid Ultra, Aurelius Fangzor Ultra, and Aurelius Hydronoid Ultra, so he'll still have a place there. Ventus Dragonoid, all potential time in the Sun Knight is almost here. We didn't get the Helix stuff we needed in Resurgence, but in the BR Wave 2 and 3, we had several Helix Bakugan that will be enough to make a real Helix deck happen. So it might finally be Ventus Dragonoid's time, but there are other Ventus Bakugan with Helixes that it's in competition with now, so maybe not, but whatever. We'll see. We will see. We will see, won't we? Okay, so beyond that, Pirate's Trox is still trash because its Evo is trash. If it gets another Evo in the future, then it could come out of that, but we haven't seen literally anything get a new Evo after its initial set, so it seems unlikely at this point. As for the other 2 battle packs, never pick these up. Chaos Serpentine Ultra has a very, very weak Evo, and it's been completely outclassed by other shield options and will continue to be outclassed by other shield options. Aurelius Nilius you can get in other better value places, and Darkest Trox comes in a single in Battle Brawlers Wave 3. As for the Oculus Mantodon and Pyrus Maxitor, the only things of value here were Chaos Fangzor and Ventus Pegatrix. Ventus Pegatrix comes in another place for cheaper, and Chaos Fangzor comes in a single. You could get the 3-pack that Ventus Pegatrix comes in, plus Chaos Fangzor, for less in the US than it would cost to get this battle pack, if I'm remembering my prices right. So yeah, don't bother with either of these battle packs. Only touch this one, because this one is still really good value. Like, it's almost a must pick up for any competitive player, because Darkest Hydra's Ultra is so good and goes into so many decks, and you get Oculus Fangzor at the same time. And hey, Aurelius Garganoid isn't too bad either. As for starter sets, Oculus Garganoid Ultra is still complete trash, really bad deck. The Chaos Helicore Ultra starter set, despite the new starter sets that came out in BR Wave 2, are not very good. As decks. They have some good Bakugan, they have some good reprints, but as decks they don't function well. So my highest suggestion to a new player is still pick up this starter set, pick up a Chaos Pegatrix single, and take out the Helicore for that. And that'll get you right on your way to a solid Fist deck. You might want to swap out Dragonoid for something like like Mantinoid Ultra. But this is a really quick way to get you right on your way to a solid deck, because the cards packaged in here are, for the most part, solid, and you have a fairly competent deck with this one. So highly recommended. The second place still goes to Pyrus Holders Ultra. The BR Wave 2 star sets are really not good, guys. You get Aquos Fangzor and Chaos Nilius in here, even though Chaos Nilius does come in a single now, so it's not that valuable. And there's some solid stuff in here, like the Hyper Aquos Fangzor Evolution. What else is there? Tides. There really is not much here, though. There's like Tides, Sifting Ashes, Bone Defense, kind of, Greater Water Boost, and Hyper Aquos Fangzor. I still I don't really recommend this one, but if you want to get a second starter set for a friend to play with, so that you're not going off the same deck, then this is the one you'd want to pick up. Okay, so starter packs. The Aqua Serpentines Ultra one still has some value because Ventus Pegatrix. I did not speak too highly of this card in my initial Battle Brawlers analysis, but because it's a really big risk-reward Bakugan. But we are now receiving Bakugan with double magic shields, and ones that are much more potent than Pyrus Howlcore in their base forms. So there's a lot more potential to Ventus Pegatrix. Like if you can run on the 4 or 5 Magic Shield deck, Ventus Pegatrix becomes extremely strong because its Evo is pretty low cost for 1600. Well, actually 2250. 2250. Basically as strong as wait, is it stronger or? Okay, slightly weaker than by like 50 beat weaker than Chaos Titanilius for 1 less, and you can actually do the max magic shield without going redundant on factions. Arouse Howlcore Ultra, this was my big suggestion, but all of these Bakugan have completely fallen off now, so I don't recommend this at all. Darkest Mantinoid Ultra, you can get Arouse Nilius and Pyrus Fangzor in one place here, so this is still pretty solid. If you want those two Bakugan, Darkest Mantinoid Ultra still isn't any good, so I don't recommend that. Chaos Hydra's Ultra Star Set is still bad. Pyrus Mantinoid Ultra Star Set, this is a good one, because you can get this and Aurelius Fangzor in one place. And Aurelius Fangzor is really great for shield decks. Diamond has the Diamond Chaos Pegatrix, but we're not really going to talk about diamonds. That was a slip of the tongue. The Ventus Maxitor Ultra has the Aquos Pegatrix. However, that comes as a single in Wave 4. BR Wave 1, Wave 4 overall. It comes as a single there, I believe. I know it comes as a single somewhere, but just get it there, is my suggestion. Ultra Singles. Which ones of these have stayed good? Just Pyrus Serpentines Ultra. Just Pyrus Serpentines Ultra. If you're building Aggro Fury, pick up Pyrus Serpentines Ultra. The others have completely lost all value. For this one, it's just Chaos Pegatrix. Pyrus Dragonard, you should be getting in the starter set, so the only single value here anymore is Chaos Pegatrix. Yeah. Wave 2. This is where we can get Aquos Fangzor as a single, so you don't need to grab it from that starter set. Aurelius Pegatrix, if you don't want to pick up the best starter set, if you don't want to pick up a starter set at all, then you can pick it up as just a single here. And yeah, it's just those two, just the 2 reprints. Wave 2 Ultra Singles. This has some good stuff. Darkest Nilius Ultra is the real standout. This is a really fantastic Bakugan for any shield decks. Pyrus Garganoid Ultra has some decent potential because its Evo has a pretty high potential ability, but it's not really there yet, so I don't really suggest it. And I have a hard time seeing it ever get there, really. Ventus Serpentines Ultra has its place in like mono Ventus decks, but in general it's not too fantastic, but it's not awful. So if you're going for that sort of strategy, then of course this single still holds value. And the same applies to Ventus Trox Ultra. I'll be talking about this more in depth in a future video, but this is basically just worse Titan Trox Ultra is basically just worse Titan Dragonoid. But it has its place in Mono Ventus because you get access to 4 different ramp cards now. If potentially if you can nail on a fist, which you have pretty few of in this sort of build, and you get access to Shell Shield, which is a pretty good stall card now that has actually actual win cons to build towards. But that is still not terribly good, but that's really the only place that Ventus Trox Ultra has any real value. Wave 3 core singles. Moving on to Wave 3. This is where the reprints happen, of course. Darkest Trox, Chaos Fangzor, Chaos Nilius. I actually forgot Pirates Fangzor got reprinted here, but it comes in the same place as Aurora's Nilius, so might want to still pick that up. Ventus Dragonoid, but you should be picking that up from the best battle pack. The value here is all the reprints. None of the new Bakugan in that wave was any good. For the Ultra singles for that wave, we have Aurora's Fangzor Ultra, who hasn't really found its place in the deck currently, but has a potential, and the most likely place for it to show that potential is if Mono Aurelis becomes a thing, if they give us an incentive for that. Aquos Krelios Ultra has its place currently within Fist decks because of how its Evo curves with the others. However, it is going to get kicked out because Aquos Hydronoid Ultra has the same B power as its Evo in its base form, with only a 2 damage difference. Like, it's not great. It just gets completely outclassed by that. Darkest Fangzor Ultra is pretty great. 600B base with Shadow Strike and a Magic Shield and a Shield. It's just pretty great overall. Chaos Maxitor Ultra. I'm going to bring mention to it because its Evo is pretty important for Maximus cheese decks. So you'll want to pick that up if you want to go for that. Chaos Gortheon Ultra, I think has its place potentially in the future in like a mono Chaos build because it is a 600B Magic Shield Bakugan with an Evo that isn't awful, but not something you want to run the Bakugan for in of itself because it's just worse wax on like a worse timing because you're going to have to stick on this base form until the timing where you want to use that. Pirates Dragonoid Ultra was solid at first, but it got very quickly outclassed. Even like its Evo is very weak, and as a result, Pirates Nilius Ultra completely outclasses it. So yeah. Okay. Wave 3 starter packs. We have Darkest Trotonium Ultra. Guys, that the Momocon Fury deck really isn't that good. I will go into it with more depth in the future, but Darkest Trotonium Ultra is really not that fantastic of a Bakugan. As a Magic Shield Darkest user, it's pretty hard outclassed by Fangzor Ultra. And its Evo is really not fantastic. Until we get like more discard fodder cards, it's really not fantastic. Chaos Nilius Ultra is one thing that I still have my eye on because like it's very easy because of Nilius Ultra's ability to very consistently pick up 2 cores. It is very easy to get that Evo out for its reduced cost. So I think it has its place in some like mono Chaos deck in the future if they ever give us some incentive for that. But for now, it's nothing too great. Anything else here? Ventus Garganoid Ultra is a mono Ventus deck, so if you mono Ventus card, so if you want to pick that up. But otherwise, like none of these starter packs really have current value. Battle packs. The only one I'd really bother picking up here is the Chaos Mantinoid Ultra one for Chaos Mantinoid Ultra itself. Pirates Halcor, not very good, but Chaos Mantinoid Ultra is an absolute staple in Heroes, so you kind of need that. Yeah. The Aquos Trox Ultra and Ventus Fangzor Ultra one isn't awful value, because both of these are fairly decent Bakugan, but neither of them really have a place in decks right now, and the jobs that they would fulfill are kind of fulfilled by other things. Like, the only thing you'd want Ventus Fangzor Ultra for is if you really want shields in a Ventus in a shields deck. That's the only reason you'd ever run that. And yeah, like, there's not much reason to really want that right now. So hard pass on that. And Darkest Indeus Ultra is a massive trap. A low B power Bakugan that needs to win a battle to discard a card is not what a hand control deck wants. It is literally the exact opposite of what a hand control deck wants. BR Wave 1. Okay, so Aqua Spectrix got reprinted here, as I've told the peeps before in this very video. Pyro Serpentine is also quite good. It is the core of a Flaming Fist based deck because it's Evo's ability to deal 5 damage every time it resends on a Flaming Fist, with potential for like 4 1-cost or lower reroll cards. That is super, super strong. So if you're interested in that deck, pick up Pyro Serpentine. It's fantastic. It's so good. Aurelius Trox, I just did a video on Wednesday, 2 days ago, talk about this. This Bakugan is fantastic and creates an archetype entirely around itself. It's really, really amazing, and if you're interested in that archetype, of course you're going to want to pick this up. One note though, this does not come in every case of Wave 4, BR Wave 1 core singles. I'm so used to saying Wave 4, and I need to break myself into the habit of saying BR Wave 1, even though I'm one of the main pushers of that terminology. But like, guys, we're going to enter the double-digit waves by next year. We need to use more consolidated wave names, or it's going to get too cumbersome. Okay, mini rant over. Yeah, BR Wave 4, BR Wave 1 Ultra Singles. Aqua Plutonium Ultra, high potential for Helix decks. I love this Bakugan a lot. I think it's going to be really good. Hail Spectrix Ultra had some decent potential, but I haven't really found anything that really works for it yet. So it's not bad, but be wary of that when you're picking it up. It's really held back by its low B power, and honestly, the fact that it's a Magic Shield Bakugan instead of like Double Fist. Aurelius Krikelios Ultra is also quite good. Quite a bit of potential. It's a 600B Magic Shield Bakugan. Like, and it comes with Blinding Ink too. Like, I just want to point that out. This comes with Blinding Ink. Blinding Ink is fantastic. But beyond that, this is an opponent Bakugan with a decent Evo with some potential. So it's not really a high recommendation. My high recommendations from this wave are, well, just Aqua Saturnium Ultra if you're interested in a Helix deck. That's it. BR Wave 1 starter packs. What was good here? Oh yes, Aurelius Dragonheart Ultra. This is the one you want. This is the one you want. You want this one real bad. This Bakugan is ludicrous. I made a video all about it. Yeah. Aqua Spectrix Ultra isn't very good. It does have a 600B base, but it's not a great Bakugan. But it does have another way of getting Aurelius Fangzor. So if you're interested in collecting Pikatrixes for whatever reason, you can get Aurelius Fangzor at the same time. Parasaturnium Ultra. This has some nice cheese decks, and you can also get Aqua's Fangzor here, but not a high recommendation. And my other big recommendation from this wave of starter packs is Ventus Titanium Ultra. Like Aqua's Titanium Ultra, this has high potential in starter packs, and while Titanium Core, the boat has sailed on that boy, because he already received an Evo. Oh wait, no, I got this backwards. This is the one that's bad. You don't pick this one up. You pick up, where is it? Where'd it go? BR Wave 1 Core Singles Ventus Titanium Core. I get these mixed up because okay, so in Resurgence, there's a Diamond Titanium Ventus Titanium Evo, and a normal Ventus Titanium Ultra Evo, and they do the exact same thing. They have the exact same stats, they have the exact same cost, and they have the exact same effect. So I get them confused really, really easily. But, okay, so they both had high potential for Helix decks, but that Evo is not great. But this Neutronium, the core one, its Evo was a diamond, so it's probably still going to get another Evo in the future, so it still has potential. So this is the one that keep your eye on. Maybe pick it up if you're interested in Helix. But those Draco, I have my eyes more on Draco personally, but you know. And that's all the stuff that has Resurgence. So we're going to be slightly vague on the Wave 5 and Wave 6 stuff, BR Wave 2 and Wave... I want to use the terminology myself. Why can't I break myself out of this habit? Okay. I'm going to tell you about the stuff that's almost definitely going to be good because it has ridiculously high stats. Okay, so basically nothing in the BR Wave 2 core singles is good except for Pirate's Vice Rocks, because if you watched my Resurgence character card video, you would know this has the highest potential of any base form currently in the game. It's really, really good. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, and Fury decks might even have the potential to kick Cervites out. It's that good. It's just a really fantastic Bakugan. Really excited for it. BR Wave 2 Ultra Singles. What do we have here anyways? Right, this is where Pirates Nobilis Ultra here. This is the one you want to pick up from this wave. This basically completely outclassed Pirates Dragonord Ultra because it hits the same, like, it's not as good damage-wise, but that's not really as big of a concern. It comes with the same cores, has the same 500B base, and its core type bonus puts it only 100B below the evolved Dragonord Ultra. So it's fantastic. It's probably the best generic Pirates Bakugan now, between it and Titan Dragonoid. And we don't have the card and core info on these battle packs, or I haven't collected it yet. But for the Wave 5... Wait, no, we did. I just inputted it. It has an update on this end. Okay. None of these is good. None of these is good right now. Pirates Hydronaut Ultra and Darkest Kirkelios Ultra have some decent potential, but nothing amazing. Chaos Eternium is a good Bakugan, but it comes in one of the BR Wave 2 starter sets that we're about to talk about. So, these starter sets are trashless decks, but they have some good Bakugan and some good cards. Starting with this one, this is the highest value one. Aquas Peruvian Ultra is a double Magic Shield Bakugan, and of the double Magic Shield Bakugan, it has the highest base B power of 400B. So it's really, really fantastic. Chaos Eternium is a double Flaming Fist Bakugan that gets a plus 600B to its 200B base form when it lands on a Flaming Fist. So both of these are really fantastic for their respective core type decks, have very high potential. And these come with some pretty great cards. You have Shargo Ronin, which is great for hero decks. You have Shun Kazami BR. You have Dark Fortune. You have Dark Waters. Unstoppable is decent. And yeah, that's it for that one. But the big two are Shun Kazami and Dark Fortune. For the Relics Nobilius one, none of the Bakugan here are any good. But card-wise, I know it has some good stuff. Holy Flame, Anger, True Strata BR. Yeah, that's it. Darkest Hydronaut Ultra one. This is the big hype one because, hey, it has the Darkest Hydronaut Ultra one. I have my eye on, of the Darkest Helix Bakugan, which are Kirkelios and Hydronaut Ultra. I have my eye more on Hydronaut Ultra because it has a higher than 1 base damage, which means it can use the plus 500B minus 1 damage Helix core without zeroing out. And this one also has some really fantastic cards. You have Dark Waters, Deep Dive, Blinding Ink. Air Zero isn't good, guys. Yeah, just those three. I love Blinding Ink, by the way. And lastly, we have the BR Wave 3 starter packs. This is where you're going to get the ludicrously good Aurelis Hydronaut Ultra. Very, very good Bakugan. Highly recommend picking this up. I think this is going to be very, very, very good. If Mono Aurelis is a thing, this is definitely going to be in it. And it's also absolutely going to be a huge buff to Flaming Fist decks. And the other starter pack of note from this wave is the Pirates Nobilius Ultra one. Pyrus Nilius Ultra, not Nobilius. Pyrus Nilius Ultra. This is going to be a fantastic Bakugan for Helix decks. I went over this pretty far in depth in the Resurgence character card video. Basically, Nilius Ultra has its good old double pickup, and this gets natural double strike on a Helix. So it's really, really good. And that's going to be it for this this buyer's guide. I don't remember how long the old one was, but this is clocking in about 25 minutes. Pretty good, pretty good. And yeah, that's going to be it. We are going to be diving into the individual faction analyses next week. I'm going to be talking about Bakugan cards at the same time. This time I'm not going to be going over everything. I'm going to be going over the really good stuff and like the overhyped stuff. That's all I'm going to be talking about, make it more focused. With that said, this is Hunter Surge signing off.